The older one would just really, really hurt his brother. So I just had to bathe. It was really, really awful.
He would swirl on the carpet and smear it in like mud. Where it would be on his dressing tables, on his bed, up his wall. He then started to bite people. My oldest son came out one day with 10 bite marks on his back.
My kids weren't functioning at school as well as they should have. We had a boy angry, so therefore he became dangerous in the school.
I felt I couldn't take my children anywhere.
Antisocial behaviour in children is a serious problem in New Zealand today. Challenging behaviour, if not checked, often leads to early failure at school, truancy, crime, substance abuse, teen pregnancy, and even suicide. Preventing children from developing antisocial tendencies early is proven to significantly reduce problems in later life. Incredible Years is a 12 to 16 week course which involves weekly 3-hour sessions. Over the weeks, parents develop strategies to use at home with problem behaviour. They come to group each week, talk through what has or what hasn't worked, and develop new goals and ways to achieve those goals during the following week.
The most important thing when it comes to parenting children is the relationship that we have with our children as parents. And so by far the majority of the program is around, how do I build a positive relationship with my child? And it sounds, kind of simple, but there are a lot of things in there that I think intuitively we know as parents, but kind of get lost in the busyness of what we're doing when we're trying to raise children. And what we've found in running the course is that again, sounds really simple, I'll go and play with my kid. But every course we've run, we've had more than one parent say, I don't know how to play, or I feel like a goose when I'm playing with my kid, and my kid looks at me like, well, what are you trying to do?
Drop it there.
Good.
Many of the parents who attend the Incredible Years program have tried other courses. But with its different approach, this course offers parents new perspectives on how to solve their problems.
When you talk about a child like that, the kind of negative, hard stuff needs to be just here, but you've got to fill the rest of that space with the talking and the playing and the relationship kind of stuff. So that when it comes to having to deal with something like that, you've got all of this to sit it on.
Rob and Hayley are parents to 4 children. Having experienced severe behavioural problems with their 2 eldest, and having attended numerous parenting courses with no success, they were desperate. Hayley found out about the Incredible Years program and attended the course a couple of years back. She experienced a massive positive shift in family life.
Good boy. My oldest child, he would hit constantly when we went out. He would go out to hurt people. I went there just to get help, really, on how to deal with certain things. There were some days I could just rip my own hair out.
One of my children's behaviour gets to me more than the rest, his attitude. So I've had to basically reset myself and relearn how to be a parent. Well, basically the first guidelines was just to spend time with your children. That's the biggest thing from the beginning is play with your children. And I don't mention anything else or talk about anything else bar that main key. It's like sitting down with a kid playing his game and you're trying to hurry it up to get it finished so you can move on and do what you'd like to do, or do what you have to do, like housework, cook dinner, more than just sitting down and letting the game take its course, let them change the rules, let them play it their way, like take an extra 10 minutes and playing that one game and instead of just trying to do it and flob it off and say, look, we've done it, now I've got to do this. Yeah. big changes. Yeah, just by playing with them, spending time with them makes a huge difference.
Julie Ruawai and Gary McClintock are Incredible Years course facilitators in Motueka. Both have extensive experience in dealing with kids with antisocial behaviours. With Incredible Years, they believe they have found an effective program to help parents who are struggling with troubled family life.
If you take most people who are coming to a parenting course and they've got problems with their parenting, then chances are they're in some kind of negative cycle, when things just pile on top of one another, and you get stuck in that rut. And so one of the first things we really want to do is to try and turn that relationship with their children around. So we're talking about developing relationships, like building the foundations of their parenting as you would a house. So we're working on things like playing, being with their children, teaching simple skills around play that build the relationship between the parent and the child.
The Incredible Years program uses an extensive research base, giving New Zealand families the confidence that it actually works. Overseas, the use of randomised trials, before and after studies, direct observation and questionnaires show consistently good results. With a 25-year history, the course now operates successfully in places as diverse as Norway, Wales and the USA. Trials in New Zealand have so far shown the same reductions in problem behaviour across a range of social and ethnic groups.
The power of something like Incredible Years is it's not people saying they know it works, they can actually show you. They can show you the numbers, they can describe the trials, they can do and report the research. If the programs are delivered effectively, rates of conduct problems in children will reduce by about 60%.
It's not a sit and listen and learn and take it in. It's a, sit and share and get up and talk and move and experience with other people. And it also has a component of support outside the course. We ring our parents, we encourage them to buddy up and call each other. And, so it's not just a one-off, we'll meet on a Tuesday, we'll say some things, you go away and good luck. It's more than that.
Vanessa, like many of the parents attending Incredible Years, was looking for tools to help curb her children's problem behaviour. She felt alone with her struggles and really didn't know where to turn for help until she discovered the course.
I really was looking for support because of the behaviour, really a lot of inappropriate behaviour and really out there, and I really didn't know what to do with it, actually. I think all of the tools that the Incredible Years uses is really helpful and quite funny, really. When you start with the play session, it is actually quite a surprise because you think, well, how are you going to help me discipline my children so that I can, actually cope here? Even 10 minutes, is such a valuable thing. It really is. Just a board game or a ball game or whatever. And then the kids realise, they tell me, they say, oh, this is great, Mum.
We spend quite a lot of time in the program working on those basics, getting the relationship going, and then we start moving towards how do we now encourage the kinds of behaviours that we really want to see. So that's the first thing. And we do that through simple things like praise and encouragement. Simple, but often things that we forget to do. We look at ways of rewarding behaviour, growing the kinds of behaviour that we want.
Oh, good boy. I think as long as we've got our ground rules there, we've made sticker charts for him for the way he speaks to others, and he's got to speak to them respectfully, and he earns a sticker. And instantly he said to us, I'm too old for this. So we've put it to him like, well, if you get 10 stickers, you get a wee reward, like a lolly or something. We do that 5 times. Oh, can we go to a cafe? Why not? So he's working towards that at the moment, and it works.
Bina, a single mum of 2, has struggled to provide a happy home for herself and her kids. Daily life was chaotic, and she felt as though she had very little control to change things. Bina was desperate for a positive and happy outlook to replace the unruly behaviour.
Craziness, screaming, beating his sister up, to just madness. It was always a dread. Waking up in the morning was, how am I going to get them from the house to school. You know, it was just a horrible time. I knew I was struggling, failing. I knew I needed help. My biggest problem was I wasn't consistent. And, well, now I am very consistent. Now I see it through. If I say something, I see it through and make sure they follow it through. We get an end result, a good result.
Once we've got that base happening and some positive stuff happening, then we start to look at, okay, now what about the behaviours that are bothering you, the things that you don't like and you want to see less of? Let's start by making sure that we're doing some of the basic things right to start with, like when we ask for things to be done, or when we give commands or instructions at home, are we doing it in a way that makes them effective, that gets what we want from our children? Are we setting clear and sensible limits with our children? So we're starting to put some boundaries in place around the things we don't like. What do people think their strengths are at this stage with using time out? Who's got a good strength?
I'm clear about the boundaries, and so are they.
Right.
So there's no arguments about going to time out because I realise that it's fair. There's a big issue around it being fair.
For the last part of the course, we get into the kinds of consequences that you might need to use, and we present strategies like time out, loss of privilege, those sorts of things, as a safer way of dealing with misbehaviour or behaviours you don't want, as opposed to some of the things that people get into that, you know, are abusive, basically. We're presenting time out as a safe option. So the pyramid's built with that in mind, and that's quite different to a lot of courses. And when parents come along, they're often expecting and wanting the sharp end stuff. And one of the really good things about the program, and you see it, is where people realise, hey, in fact, if you'd given me that stuff at the beginning, I'd have still abused it.
The focus is not on necessarily being a better parent or, you know, the best parent or the perfect parent. You know, and we talk about the kind of pressure that we put under to achieve the unachievable sometimes, but to be a more conscious parent. And I think, you know, there was evidence of that today in group. You know, even the mum that's got this real struggle on her hands is being more conscious about it, you know. Okay, so things still really turn to crap, but I'm getting to the point where I can identify, you know, some reasons why it turned to crap and some alternatives that I can, you know, start to think about using when I'm in that situation again.
We will respect and be kind to each other in our family. We will talk about our feelings, and we will have family time at last once a week. We will have lots of positive praise.
Yeah, no, they definitely give me a strength, you know, something to go on. And I think that it's actually quite fair to say that it doesn't just happen. Like, I have to actually keep looking into it again and, you know, it's like even though I've done the course, I need to keep reading it. I need to keep having the input to remind me, you know, like when I'm having a bad day or whatever, just go, okay, you know.
If I'd heard this from somebody else before I did, I'd probably go, oh, yeah, whatever, sort of people have told them to say this. Now we're both doing it, and being, as I say, on that same page, it's just remarkable. It is incredible, really.
I see a brighter tomorrow, and I'm setting my kids up to be happy, and we'll get through life, and we'll, yeah.
It really matters.